Hello, this is Mario Farina. Today I'll be reading a story to you entitled Woman in the Diner. This is a picture of the woman in the diner. This story is available in Smashwords, www.smashwords.com. It's free for the reading and for the downloading. There are also many other books there that you can select from, all free. Woman in the Diner. On this day, I did not go to the diner at the usual time. I had overslept, and it was about 9. The Liberty Diner was a little less crowded than usual. I strolled toward my favorite booth and was unhappy to see a young woman already sitting there. She was reading a book while having breakfast. There was an empty booth on the other side of the aisle. I selected one where I could keep the woman in view. She had caught my interest. First, she was reading a book. Nobody reads books anymore. I was a teacher of English literature at Linden High School, and no one knew this better than I. Second, she was attractive, but seemed lonely. Though not actually beautiful, there was a kindliness in her face that more than made up for that. Third, I was lonely too. At 30, I had let love and marriage effervesce by being too preoccupied with academic affairs. These interests had taken their toll with wasted time. When the magic number of 30 arrived, I felt something should be done about catching up. I couldn't tell what the woman's age was, but it did seem to be in a range that I should find acceptable. The woman had not noticed me. There would have been no reason for this. She seemed thoroughly engrossed in her book. Every so often she would take a bite of food as if she had suddenly remembered to do it. She had dark auburn hair. I couldn't tell how tall she was since she was sitting. I would have guessed about 5'5" or 5'6", perhaps a little too tall for me since I was shorter than average. She was thin, and I was a little overweight. I found myself feeling ashamed of my thoughts. I was here to eat and not to evaluate the availability of a chance personal sighting. The server came and took my order. It was the usual sausage and eggs, over easy, home fries, English muffin instead of toast, coffee. "You're late today, Ben." Trudy knew my name since she had served my breakfast for at least 3 years. My name is Benton Harris. I don't think she knew my last name. We exchanged the usual pleasantries. She attended to another table for a few seconds, then disappeared into the kitchen. I turned my attention back to the young woman. She had captured my thoughts. There was something special about her. I knew not what, but it was something I could not ignore. How could I meet her, I wondered. From outward appearances, she seemed to be the kind of woman that my mind had always pictured as being a perfect wife. Kind of face, studious, physically appealing. Another person might immediately have gone to her and introduced himself. I'm not demonstrative. This activity would have been too bold for me. She appeared to enjoy reading. I didn't think she'd appreciate being disturbed while being immersed in a book. I could try bumping into her as both of us were leaving. No, there would simply have been 2 excuse me's, and that would have been the end of the encounter. I could send her a note. No, she would think I was a masher. I might ask Trudy to introduce me. No, Trudy might feel this was not a role she should be expected to exercise as a server in a restaurant. I couldn't let the woman go. I might not see her again. Trudy had brought coffee, but not my meal yet. I could go to her booth and ask what was the title of the book she was reading. I was mulling over that idea when my food was delivered. I slowly began to partake. The meal didn't go well. I kept scolding myself for having been so ineffective. Now she would finish eating, and I would finish eating, and we'd both leave, and that would be the end of today's opportunity to meet the woman I found myself so strongly attracted to. Yes, I could come back tomorrow at the same time, but there was no assurance that she would be here again. Shakespeare, through Brutus, had expressed my thoughts better than I could when he wrote this: "There is a tide in the affairs of men, when taken at the flood, leads on to fortune. On such a full sea we are now afloat, and we must take the current when it serves, or lose our ventures." This might be the day I would remember as the day I had let the girl of my dreams turn my dreams to a sea of regrets. I continued eating and kept glancing at the woman from time to time. Once she looked in my direction, and I quickly averted my eyes. I didn't want to let on that I had been watching her. I resolved to be more careful. I berated myself for having failed so miserably. The only plan I could formulate for the future was to come back tomorrow and embroil myself in the same ordeal. I ate without enjoying the food or even being aware that it was being consumed. I saw Trudy bring the young woman a check. She paid her bill and left some folding money on the table. I returned to my food, seething inwardly. "Pardon me, may I sit here with you?" I looked up. It was her. It was her. I felt myself flushing in several colors. No, not at all," I stammered. "Please do." She sat at the opposite end of the booth. "My name is Emily," she said. "I couldn't help noticing you. You seem so deep in thought." "I was over there reading," she said, pointing to where she had been sitting. "I couldn't focus on the words in my book because I was thinking about you. Are you a professor?" Now that she was closer, I could smell faint scents of perfume. I teach at the high school," I said. "In my spare time, I do a little thinking," I said, realizing with some humor that this was as incongruous as stating that Fred Astaire danced a little. "I eat here every day at about this time," Emily said. "I bring a book to keep me company, but I'd rather talk to someone. Shall we sit here together tomorrow so that you can tell me what you think about? I would like that." I readily agreed. Emily and I did meet for breakfast many times afterward, and for many years. Today, as I write this, we'll be celebrating the 30th year of our marriage. I hope you liked the story. Tomorrow I'll read you another story. Thank you for looking. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.